Here we are. Okay, hello Internet, and welcome to the second episode of Enter the Dungeon. This is the part where the dramatic music plays and the smooth voice narrator gives you a recap of what happened last time.
We have a narrator.
Our heroes began their journey in the great city of Yulin. They were given a quest by the College of Transmutation that they should take a mysterious caravan into the city of Apoilet within the Deep Canyon. Joining the two heroes was a little elven girl. On the way, they encountered two dead horses, and when they went to investigate, they were attacked by a group of 3 goblins. Will they make it to the city safely now, or does more danger lurk? They successfully scared off this batch, killing 2 of them, but will they be able to survive any more goblins? Find out now. So yeah, I'm the DM, and joining me we have...
Paul.
Evan.
And Andreas.
Yes. Okay, so like I said, you guys just finished defeating a group of goblins, and for that, experience is, in question. So, for effectively defeating 3 goblins, you can each take 50 experience points.
All right.
Where do I put that?
Under experience points.
Do you have a pencil with you?
Yes.
It's at the top of the character sheet.
Yeah.
You said it's at the bottom?
At the top.
Top
near,
right.
Near the character name, I think. Near alignment, maybe?
Oh, experience points.
Yep.
You said 50?
Yep.
Yep.
You need 300 to get to level 2.
Cool.
Okay, so you guys all remember where you were?
Vaguely.
Yeah, we were about to cross the bridge, I think.
No, you guys haven't quite gotten to any bridges yet. You guys just defeated a goblin.
What is that?
There's the caravan, and then up ahead there were 2 dead horses that Earth Mover Andreas was trying to move out of the way when he got attacked by a goblin. So the horses are still in there and still in the path. So what do you guys want to do?
Can we... Okay, are the goblins gone?
Yes, you
2
killed
of them are dead.
them, and one of them ran off.
Okay.
And so there's still 1 horse blocking the road. The one goblin ran off a path and looked like he was going in a specific direction. What do you guys want?
In that direction? It's off the path. Is it running into the forest? Is it running into the hills? Where's it going?
Well, you guys are kind of on a main road, and he kind of went into like a somewhat foresty area into what seemed to be more of like a beaten road. Like there seemed to be a bit of a path there just from people running. That's what but I think only Alicia can notice that because right now she's the one in the area having just fired and missed a shot at the goblin and broke her bowstring.
I'm not going after them.
Okay.
Yeah, neither am I.
I
Okay.
don't see the point. I mean, we got 2 of them.
Okay. And by the way, Paul, your character, he actually feels something mysteriously, sort of almost feels like it appears kind of in his pocket.
Okay, I reach into my pocket and pull it out.
Okay, so
It's a bomb.
Yeah. Close, it's an envelope, and your name is written on it.
What kind of handwriting does it look like?
It seems to be, sort of an official looking, neat handwriting.
Okay, let's see.
Do you open the envelope?
Yes.
Okay, so you can just give me a second. I'm going to PM the contents of it to you.
All right.
Yes, and of course now my computer's acting weird. Give me a second. Should have tried this out. And so, while I handle that, what are the other 2 of you doing?
I'm just chilling. I'm actually trying to fix my bowstring right now.
Okay. So I think we established last time that you have 4 available backup bowstrings.
Yes.
So, Earthmover, what are you doing? Are you moving the horses out of the way?
Sure, I can do that. That's what I was over there initially to do before I got stabbed.
Yeah, you got one out of the way when you got attacked, so you've got one left.
Alright. I start hauling it off to the side then.
Yeah, make a quick strength check.
Oh, I didn't get my dice out. Foolish.
Okay. By the way, the message that you got, it's written in Dwarven. We established that you could speak that language.
Strength check 11.
Okay, it takes you.
Oh wait, hang on. No, hang on. I forgot a racial feature.
Oh, okay.
I
Do
count
you
as
have a
one
bonus
size
to moving
bigger when
horses?
I'm deciding how much weight I can carry, push, drag, or lift. So I count as a large creature moving a medium creature. Is this even a strength contest?
It's a pretty low DC for you.
Alright.
By the way, as long as you're moving them, you get a good look at the horses. So the first one you see, it's kind of black with a white stripe on top running from head to tail. And the other one is gold with sort of a large black spot on it, you notice?
Alright. Can I tell about how they died? I don't remember if we covered that last time.
Yeah, they both seem to have an arrows sticking out of them.
Okay.
If you want, you can roll investigation to see anything else.
Sure.
Okay, with a 12, I'll say that you can tell that they don't seem to have been here that long.
Alright.
Yeah, like you don't see flies floating around them or anything.
Around what? What are we talking about now?
Dead horses.
The dead horses.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Indeed. Okay, so with that out of the way, do you guys carry on your journey?
I mean, I guess.
Sure. I cry for a little bit. Just because it's sad.
I finished reading the letter and I cry out, by Absin's skirt, these horses are mentioned in this letter. The man we met at the academy earlier sent me this letter regarding these horses. They belong to this man, Johann Carver. He must have been sent out ahead of us, and clearly he's been killed or has been missing. I look around the tracks. Are there any signs that this guy is still around or ran off?
Yeah, I guess this would be another investigation roll.
Okay. Take a look around. I got an 8.
Yeah, within 8, you don't really notice much. You notice that there seems to be somewhat of a footprint that leads a bit towards the bushes. That's about it.
A mystery! I yell, and I run over and grab the letter from Paul's hands, and I read it.
I try to pull it.
What
I don't
language?
think you speak Dwarven.
Oh, is it in Dwarven? Yeah, I can't read it.
Okay.
I drop it.
Little girl.
Just like a
Not nice to take things from people.
Yeah.
Especially while they're reading it.
But if there's a mystery at hand, we need to solve it. And I immediately put my nose towards the ground and start sniffing like a dog.
Are you trying to attempt anything or just being funny?
I'm going to attempt an investigation roll.
Is this just sniff based or are you also looking?
I'm also looking, but I got a 3 coincidentally. So
you smell dirt.
Cool.
Yep. So now you know that there's dirt on the road.
In the forest.
I didn't find anything.
Okay. So Earthmover want to try anything?
I walk towards the bushes and kind of push them back and see if I can see anything else.
From here, you're able to sort of see you're probably... Yeah, I guess you're kind of able to see sort of the opening where the one goblin went down.
What about the track that this guy left?
The what? Where's that static coming from?
What static?
I've got it too.
Paul, do you have it too?
Yes, I hear it.
Oh, then that means it's from me.
Okay, it just fizzed out.
Yeah.
Okay, say what you were doing again.
So I kind of walk in the direction the tracks were pointed, and you said it ran in towards the bushes. I kind of pushed them away and take a look.
Yes. You want to try investigating again, I guess?
All right. 16 this time.
Okay, yeah, this time you are able to notice, a bit of a heavily traveled but like artificial path, and something you notice is that it's kind of like through a couple trees and bushes, and it doesn't really seem tall enough for like a human to be going through naturally.
Does the ground look like somebody was crawling through it?
No, not really.
Are these bushes or is it a path?
Well, it's a bit of a path, but there's like every so often there'll just kind of be some plants sticking out in the way, or like some low-hanging tree branches.
But I'd have to be crawling through it, right?
You could probably just. How tall are you?
Average human size.
Yeah, you could probably just duck down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I kind of poke my head through and take a look around.
And you see that this path seems to go down further a bit. You notice some fresher prints, I guess.
All right. How far out do they extend? How far can I see?
You keep looking further down, and it just seems to be woods all the way. But you think you notice the last bit of that goblin who ran off right before he disappears around a bend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see him run out.
Yeah.
Ugh, how far away is he? Could I chase after him?
Let's see. No, he's probably about 250 feet down.
I can't chase after that. He's way too fast.
Yeah.
He's too fast to catch up with.
Yeah. I mean, you could go follow him if you want.
Is Paul now off the beaten path?
Yes.
Okay, I run up to him. What'd you find?
Well, little girl, there's a path that's following down this way. And you see that goblin's running off over there.
Is that Bandersnatch that made me break my bow?
Yes, it is.
I start just sprinting after him.
Be careful, little girl.
Okay.
But this reminds me of this time when this ship came into port and there was this stowaway on the ship. 2 days to chase them through the port. But finally I was able to track the little varmint down. Perhaps we'll have better luck this time.
Yeah, come on.
Wait, are you saying you stopped to listen to his story?
No, I heard it because he said it really loud.
I kind of did. I wanted everybody
While I'm
to
still standing
I run
by
out
dead
there.
horses, just watching this all unfold.
Yeah, you guys. Okay, so yeah, the wagon's still there, kind of like on the path. You stopped it because you saw the horses, the dead horses, but
I'm on like a full-on sprint towards this guy.
Earth Mover, you going after him?
I'm gonna go like relocate the carriage into the woods so it doesn't get stolen while we're out.
We've got an intelligent player over here.
Yeah.
Hardly.
I guess would this be like maybe nature or animal handling to try to get them in? Yeah, because you're trying to get them to like a specific spot where the trees block them, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get them back off the path.
Okay, try handle animals.
Oh boy, 11.
Okay, you're able to find a spot that you're somewhat comfortable with. If like someone's like being observant, they'll probably notice, but like the average traveler just going about their day, they probably will pass by it.
Can I forcefully drag the carriage into a more covert location?
That'd be a strength
How many
check.
horses do we have? 1 or 2?
Um,
Or
one horse. I mean, it's on 4 wheels, so if you got the horse out of the way, you might be able to pull it.
I'm just including dragging the horse in this equation.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to do that.
Come on, horses.
I'm willing to try as a large creature.
I mean, you can try, but is this the kind of thing your character thinks he's capable of?
I mean, I'm kind of arrogant, so I'll be okay with this.
Okay, what exactly are you just like pulling? Like you're just going from the back or from the front? Like, are you going to at least? Okay, tell me exactly what you're trying to do.
All right, so I'm basically making the assumption that if I back the carriage up a little bit further, which isn't something a horse can get the carriage to do,
Yes.
that I can get it to a more like what direction do I have to go to get it to a better hidden location?
Well, you could probably find a way to slip it in between the trees, and which is sort of what you already have done with the 11. But like I said, if someone's like being observant as they walk through this area, they'll probably notice the horse.
Right. So what if I were to drag the carriage, what direction would I have to drag the carriage in relation to the carriage?
I guess well, it would be slightly further into the woods, so I guess if it's facing forward, I guess to its right, I suppose.
Oh, sideways. All right.
Yeah.
I like not breaking axles. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, so do you feel comfortable with how it is?
Not particularly. I want to get it as hidden as possible.
Yeah. Like I said, if you like remove the horse, you might be strong enough to sort of push the wagon a bit,
All
but
right.
not very far.
I tie the horse off to a tree and try and drag the wagon to its right without breaking axles, because that's
Are you gonna try to turn, or just like a straight drag?
no, just a straight drag.
Okay, this isn't gonna end well, but roll strength.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm gonna roll a 1 and just break the wagon.
The handles fall off.
No, never mind. That's 8.
Yeah, like you try pulling on it, but you realize it budges like a little bit, but you realize it's not gonna go anywhere.
All
Damn,
right.
you're weak.
Shut up.
He's trying to pull a heavy carriage sideways.
Yeah, well, you should be chasing after this guy with me.
Yeah.
Fine. You can run a lot faster than I can, probably.
Yeah, I can sprint.
And wait, when you remove the horse, did you move it a little further into the woods?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so that
I
probably
moved
makes
it back to the road.
Okay, that probably made the horse a little bit harder to notice.
Right. All right. In that case, I'm just gonna cover it with some excess foliage that I find like on the ground that's fallen off of trees and get back to chasing a goblin.
Okay. I'll say that boosts your earlier handle animal to a 12.
Sure.
So yeah, you guys. So you're now chasing after the goblin.
Yeah.
Alicia is way ahead with Javin in tow, and then Earth Mover a few minutes behind.
Yeah. Do I even have
Yeah,
any idea what direction they're going?
The path seems to only really go in one direction. So
All right.
okay. So are either of you gonna wait for him?
No, I'm just gonna run after it.
Okay.
Trying to keep up with the leads.
Okay, so Alicia, I need you to make me a perception check with disadvantage because you're moving so quickly.
Sure.
Okay.
I got a 3. Oh, wait. Perception is what modifier?
Plus wisdom.
Oh, I got a 5.
Okay, then. You don't notice the snare, so I'm going to need you to make me a DC 10 dexterity saving throw, and I should not have told you the DC. Make me a dex save.
Sure. I got a 3. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Dexterity is added to this, correct?
Yeah.
At the same
I got
too.
I got a 6. Yeah. I got a 6.
Okay, so basically a snare snaps up, and you're sort of now hanging from a rope by to a tree, and this is what Javin finds when he catches up with you.
I just start flailing. I
Calm down,
have
small girl, and I
have no idea what's going on.
Calm down, small girl, and I try to use my hook to get her down.
Get me out of this thing!
Like, are you just trying to cut the rope, or?
Yes.
Okay, I guess this would be an attack roll against the rope.
Why? We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I guess you got a good point. Okay, so you're just kind of hacking at the rope until it breaks.
I mean,
Yeah.
I am literally flailing.
Okay, in that case, she falls, and
I sit down, crisscross
you take
applesauce.
2 damage when you land on the ground.
I'm almost dead.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much landed on your head, but it was a short fall.
I immediately sit crisscross applesauce and start eating some of my bread.
Okay. If you guys want, you can stop for a short rest right now.
I try to look to see if I can see the goblin running out that way. Let's see. 17.
No, you can't see the goblin, but you can definitely see that this is a like I said, it's kind of a heavily traveled path. So you feel like the goblin has a very specific place in mind that it's running to. So if you follow this trail, you'll probably catch up with it.
But I can't see the tracks of this guy anymore.
There's just so many, there's just been so much travel along this path that you can't quite differentiate a new track from an old one.
It looks like our bandit has fled off. Just be careful with these traps more often. This reminds me of that time I apprehended single-handedly a band of pirates. They'd booby-trapped their entire ship with all sorts of things. Gods know how they were able to navigate it, but I managed to evade all of them.
Wow, you're pretty cool, aren't you?
Yeah. All right, let's get back on that path. We got a long day of travel left.
Are you guys gonna wait for your Goliath friend to catch up with you?
We're gonna walk back. Well, how long does it take to eat some bread?
I mean, I'm just sitting on the ground.
Yeah, are you guys taking a short rest, or are you just eating some bread real quick?
I'm just sitting on the ground.
I'm going to walk back in the direction we came from, and when I bump into him, I'm going to explain that we lost him. And
yeah,
I'm going to say, I'm going to.
Okay, so
that I think we lost him.
Yeah, so I'll say you walk back, and after about a minute, you run into him.
Looks like we lost the damn devil. Let's get back on our path and continue our journey. We've lost a lot of time.
Sounds good to me. So I guess we all head back. Actually, Lacey has made no mention as to any progress beyond sitting on the ground.
I am literally still sitting on the ground eating my bread.
How long does it take to eat bread?
I'm just sitting there. I am just sitting there.
And once you're done eating the bread, what do?
I am sitting there.
I shout over to you. Come along, little girl, unless you want to stay here forever.
Well, that sounds like a nice idea. But no, I walk forward.
All right.
Okay,
is our cart still there?
What?
I'm asking Drew, is our cart still there when we get back?
Yes. But, okay, did Earthmover explain what he did?
I think it's
back, or is it just a surprise?
What?
No, I did explain what I did to the cart.
Okay, so you get back there, and at first you notice that the horse is missing. Like, you notice it's off the road, and the horse is missing, is the first thing you see.
Where's the horse?
Where's our ponies?
It's in the woods. I hid the carriage.
Oh, wow, you're smart.
Hardly.
Where's the horse?
Further into the woods than the carriage. I like things not being stolen.
All right. Let's go get the animal back and hitch it back up.
Ponies, ponies! I start skipping over.
Good God. Alright, I bring the horse back to the carriage and bring it back out.
Okay. So, you guys just continuing on your quest then?
Yep.
Okay, so the rest of the day kind of falls without incident, and I guess you guys, and so now.
As we were traveling along, I talked to Earthmover.
Okay.
So what brought you to the college that day? How did we manage to run into you? What's your story?
I was applying to attend the college and was not accepted.
Why didn't they accept? Or what's your specialty? What do you know?
Being a booger eater.
Rude.
Is that a field of Arcane study?
I was taught alchemy by a god near my village when we were looking for solutions to an upcoming disaster.
Sounds terrible. What kind of disaster?
We didn't know, but it ended up being a rock slide.
Ooh, I'm not good at rock slides. Couldn't have helped you there. Sorry.
Better at water slides?
Something like that. Why, one time, me and my fellow port watchers, we managed to stave off a gigantic tidal wave that would have destroyed the entire city. Fortunately, we were able to hold it off with our combined powers.
Huh.
So what kind of alchemy do you study? What's that? How does that work?
What's alchemy?
What she said.
It's basically using the elements to your own will. Understanding how they function in their own right and using that to your advantage to make things as you need them.
That sounds complicated.
Is it an academic
probably
field?
not intelligent enough to understand it.
You say you got it from your god. Is it a divine study or is it an arcane study?
Man, I don't know. I got taught it so I could save my village. I saved my village, thought I was too powerful for them, and went to go learn more about it.
Sounds like a cop-out.
Kinda was.
And they didn't accept you, even with a divine favor.
I mean, I failed the entrance exam. They have all right to deny me, even though I, made a giant wall with some kind of backstory power.
Wow. I very dramatically roll my eyes.
Okay, roll for eyes.
All right. How much further do we take to do we get in our journey today?
Okay, so after traveling for the rest of the day, you realize that by evening tomorrow you should make it to the canyon, and you'll be able to make it to the canyon. And with the path you're currently at, it won't be far from the town that you're supposed to go to.
I think I'm good to.
Even though it's connected to the computer.
If I suggest Earth Mover, if we take shifts, we might be able to double our speed, travel through the night.
Sounds good to me. Who's been driving this whole time, by the way?
She has.
I have?
You're the one with the highest animal handling check.
That sounds dangerous.
By the way, can you hear Evan? He had to come in here with me. My phone died.
Yeah, we can hear him.
Okay, good. And he's now going through my stuff.
Oh, I need mine. Continue.
Okay, you know what? Just pretend you're at camp and she fell asleep.
What? No, I'm pulling the carriage.
Okay, pretend she's really invested in pulling the carriage so she can't hear you. Or isn't answering. At least for a few minutes.
I mean, she's petulant enough to just ignore us on purpose.
Okay, so if we take shifts, we should be able to keep going pretty well. Are we able to speed up our travel time?
Okay, so you're going through the night?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, by the afternoon, I guess you've arrived at the canyon.
Okay.
I'll describe it as soon as he gets back into the room.
What's up?
Okay, so you guys have just made it up to the canyon now?
Finally, it's about time.
And so
I'm starving. I could go for a meal.
Haven't you been eating rations?
Nope.
Question.
Yes?
In the process of everyone taking shifts to sleep, do we all get a short rest?
Well, how long are the shifts? How many hours do you each rest for in between your writing?
Depends. How long are we considering going overnight?
Well,
overnight's like 10 hours, I guess. So
no, overnight's 8.
Well, it was pretty much at evening time when you guys decided to put on it was about sunset when you guys decided to start doing shifts so you could go straight through, and now it's about noon. So,
I mean, that we could each of us taking a short rest at that point.
Yeah, that's more than 4 hours each for rest.
Yeah.
It's probably closer to 6.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll say based on how this happened. Yeah, but did any of you try to get any extended sleep from any of this?
I slept like a baby.
I probably
Okay, yeah.
slept.
Since she was doing most of the traveling anyway, I imagine you guys just kind of left her alone in the night.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Whatever.
Because if so, then she got a long rest out of it, and you both got a short rest.
That's what I figured happened.
All right.
Okay.
Sweet. Do I get all my health points back?
Yep.
It's about time.
Yeah. Okay, and so you guys see the canyon. It's a mighty expanding reach. It's pretty much a mighty hole in the ground hewn out of rock. You can somewhat, you can barely see across to the other side, and it's just this amazing depth. Like, it's probably, like, it's considered to be, like, a great wonder of the world. So, like, how are you guys doing? You're seeing this, amazing hole. Are you just taking time to take it in?
I start yawning.
Well,
I can do better.
that's about the reaction I should have expected. Okay, so now this is going to be a bit more difficult part of the journey. You notice that there are sort of inclines leading into the canyon, but they're going to be hard to get a carriage down if you don't know what you're doing.
All right. Is there any people nearby? Maybe we could get a guide to get us down.
Alas not. There's no one in this particular area. Like, if you look far enough, you can see some people further down the road, like a couple miles down the road, if you're squinting.
Are they? Which direction are they heading? Towards us or away from us?
They seem there seems to be a guy just kind of standing there, holding a just sort of standing there, looking around in the distance.
Is he holding anything?
Not that you can see.
Is he near an on ramp or like a down ramp into the canyon?
Yes, he is.
Okay, let's head up and approach him.
Okay, so he goes up there and says, "Well, hello there, travelers. How can I help you?"
Halt! Who goes there? I yell.
I think I should be asking you that question. You're the travelers.
I don't think so. I've never met you before in my life.
Well, maybe that's because you're new to this region.
I kind of push her aside. We're looking for passage down the canyon into the city of Ellen. Is there any way you could help us with that?
Well, sure. That's what I do around here. It's nice to meet you. My name is Melvin. Melvin Flint.
Hello, Mr. Flint.
And just to give you some description, this man is a dwarf. He's wearing a sort of like wearing like overalls and like like a solid color shirt.
All right. We explained we're trying to get down into the city, and we'd like a guide to get us there safely.
Well, sure thing. For a low cost of only 5 gold, I can help escort those horses real nice. I'm an expert at escorting the horses down. That's how I make my trade.
5 gold? We'll do it for 2.
2 gold. Why?
Real quick.
Why?
How much does the carriage weigh?
That's an excellent question.
It's heavy.
Yeah, requires a horse to carry it around. Like if you're asking if you're asking whether or not you could guide it down, probably not, because it's.
My lifting capacity is 780 pounds.
Excuse me? Say that again?
I said my lifting capacity is 780 pounds.
Are you sure about that?
I am sure about that.
I'm pretty sure your carrying capacity is supposed to be 10 times your strength score.
It's 15, and your lifting capacity is twice that, and as a large creature, it's double again, because it's large for my lifting and carrying capacity. So
Hang on,
60 times my strength score, which is 13.
Lifting capacity or carrying capacity?
Lifting.
Lifting, I think, is like what you can do in a pinch, like in a burst.
All right, well, okay, I'll divide it by 2 then.
Okay.
390, that's probably still that's not as much.
And also, it's also going downhill, and it's somewhat precarious. And the man looks at you and says, "Now, you may think that you're good to guide those horses, but you should know it's nearly a mile deep down there to get to the city."
No one asked you, Grandpa.
It doesn't say. Hang on. It doesn't say in the PHB where under classes how much starting gold we have. Do you know where that's listed?
It's under your background.
I have 12 gold. Where'd you get this?
I start speaking in Dwarvish to him, trying to flatter him, say, "Good sir, it seems like you're clearly a skilled man, but our funds are limited. Perhaps we could pay you only 5 gold for passage down." Or how much did he say? He said 10 or 5?
He said 5.
5.
Ask for 2. Ask for 2.
Yeah, I asked for 2.
Yes.
2 gold. I mean, I gotta make a living here, you know. I feel like this would have to be like a persuasion roll, maybe.
Okie doke.
Oh, and I did some additional research. Characters typically weigh between 1 and 4
22.
So.
I tell him
That's not a nat 20, is it?
About helping strangers, and
He looks you up and down and says, "Well, okay, you know what? For a fine gentleman like you, I've been having a good season. I suppose I could afford to give a discount."
much obliged, good sir.
Yes. And so as he goes down, he says, "So what are y'all?" So he's leading. So he just says, "So I'm gonna need that driver's seat."
Who's currently sitting in it?
I motioned to Elysia to let him have the seat.
I rub my butt on it, all dramatic and then I get up and walk to the deck.
He says, and as he takes the reins, he says, "So what are all your names?"
My name's Javin.
Oh, Javin. Javin, that's a nice name. Where are you from?
I'm from the city of wait. Ulan. Oh, we just came from the city of Ulan. We're transporting some cargo for them.
Oh, precious cargo, you say?
Nah, they want to pretend
okay.
it's important, but it's not that bad.
Oh, okay. What up with the rest of you? How you doing? What is that like a language or is she just insulting me?
Just insulting.
I'm sorry, I don't speak whatever that is. So how about you? I want to call you a big fella, but that seems a little rude. So what should I call you?
Call me Earth Mover.
Oh, okay. So is that like your name, or are you bragging about your strength?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, what are you going to enter the big boulder throwing contest?
Is that a thing? Please tell me that's a thing.
Well, it's what I like to say. If you can imagine something weird, people are probably.
I mean, if it's a thing, then I will compete.
Hey, maybe you can start a boulder throwing contest down there in the city while you're there.
City, you say? How big is this city?
Well, I suppose it's a decent-sized city where it's sort of like packed into the canyon at its wider point, so it's about 10 miles wide, I suppose you could say. Not too large, but, good size. Mostly dwarven.
Is it a rich city?
No, not really. We're more of a pioneer folk. We got a lot of mines set up, as you might be able to imagine.
What sort of things do you mine?
Oh, we've got access to a good number of minerals here. Like, we got some iron, some coal. Some fellas are convinced they found a gold mine, but I'm not too convinced about that. Also, the salt industry is pretty good down here.
I don't have anything else to talk about. Any lately?
What?
Any interesting finds lately in the mines?
Interesting finds. Well, none that I'm currently hearing about. Like I said, I heard about some guys who think they're finding some gold, but you know what? Every couple of years, someone says they're finding gold, but they're not.
When he says gold, I perk up.
Yeah, see, that's gold. Precious metal. Yeah, mostly that's sort of more towards the northern section of the canyon. Not really down here where we have the city.
How much longer? How long do you think it takes to get down?
I'd say at this point we're probably halfway down. You know what you're doing. It's really not too bad.
All right.
And so, yeah, you guys want to talk with anything else with him?
Yeah.
So, where's this shipment heading towards?
We are heading towards I
Old friend of one of the directors of the college. I don't remember his name though.
Old friends of one of the directors. Yeah, you know what? Captain the God. I've talked to him sometimes. He says that he's good for it. You wouldn't happen to mean Dean Fisher, do you?
Yes. What? Do you know him?
Well, I know of him. Like I said, I'm friends with Captain of the Guard, and he speaks highly of him.
Does he now?
Yep.
Who's this guard? Who's this captain of the guard?
Well, that is Mr. Joseph. Joseph, what was his last name? I always just call him Joseph. This might take me a minute to remember, but oh yeah, Carver. That was his last name, Joseph Carver. Captain Carver, I suppose you would call him. What? Does that mean anything to you?
Nope.
Okay.
That's a dumb name.
Hey, that's Captain the God you're talking about. You better not say that to him when you drop off the supplies.
Captain of the Guard, more like Captain of my butt cheeks.
You might not want to let this one speak to people in the position of authority, if you know what I mean.
You think any of us can control her?
So
he's got a good point.
So is she like one of your daughters or something?
She's more like a feral child. That's a feral animal that kind of.
I am not a child.
Well, you know, you could probably drop. Like every other city, this one's got an orphanage. You could probably drop her off at.
She's honestly less of a separate life form and more of a parasite.
Ah, parasites.
I'm thinking too highly of her. Maybe more like a tumor.
What's a tumor?
Hey, Drew, can you confirm the name of the city in the canyon?
Yeah, just give me a second. That is Apolit. Yeah. Apolit. No, Apoilit. Sorry.
Okay.
It's just they usually have these written down, so I haven't really been thinking about the pronunciation of too many of them, unfortunately. And so, yeah, I guess after a little more while of silence, you guys finally reach into the city. And like you said, you know, it's a it's a decently sized city. It's, you know, there's a lot of freestanding buildings towards the middle, but you also notice that some people have been able to dig into the canyon walls to make their establishments. That's one of the first things you notice. And he says, well, it's been my fun doing business with you. And he kind of like holds out his hand a little bit in a bit of an open format. Kind of makes it look like he's expecting a tip.
I shake his hand. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind help.
Very well, then. Hope you guys do well. And remember to recommend me to all your friends.
Of course.
You think we have friends?
Well, I was kind of talking to the other two, little girl. And so, yeah, now you guys are sort of loose in the city with a carriage. What do you do?
All right. I checked the invoice and double-checked the name that we're supposed to deliver this shipment to.
Yeah, it was to Captain Carver.
Oh, it was to...
Yeah, Captain Joseph Carver.
Carver. Yeah, okay.
As we pull into the city, what do we see?
So, yeah, you know, well, it's like a city, kind of like any other, but you notice that the buildings are kind of more compact than normal. You also notice a lot of dwarves sort of milling around. There's other species, but this city seems to be primarily dwarven.
All right. Let's see.
Are there any merchants around?
Yeah, you could probably find a shop. What are you looking for?
Something to steal, probably.
Just looking around.
You do not see any bakers with an open table this time.
Are there any merchants at all?
You don't see any freestanding merchants, but you probably pass a couple shops.
What's the first shop I come across?
The first shop you come across seems to just be a general goods store.
I'll go into it.
Okay.
All right. While Evan's doing that, I search for a place to refill my water skin and find a place to get water for the horse. And
okay, so yeah, there probably would. Okay, so actually, as you enter, you sort of notice a well seems to be set up not too far by.
Mm-hmm. Is there anybody else by the well?
Yeah, there actually is a another man sitting near, who seems, who's giving some water to a horse, and next to him he seems to have his own carriage. You get that maybe he recently came down that same path.
All right. I wheel the horse around, get a bucket out of the well, fill up my water skin, and get it to the horse. And in the meantime, I start chatting up this guy, ask his name, and what's he doing here?
Yo, dude. Name's Raymond. Just, on a shipment to the general goods store. What's up with you, man?
We're looking for delivering this cargo here to a man named Joseph Carver. Heard of him?
Oh, yeah. Isn't he the captain of the guard here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Cool dude.
Okay.
I mean, at least I seem to think so. The law, they're not too strict around here, but, they keep things in order. I like that. I respect that, You got to have rules, but you can't have too many, right?
Where can I find him?
Let's see now. If you go to the center of town is where, sort of the administrative style buildings are set up. You probably find the guard outpost there, as well as, the mayor's headquarters.
All right. After I fill up, I wheel the horse in that direction, or the cart in that direction.
Okay, so you're just gonna leave Alicia in the shop.
Not my problem.
Probably a good thing that she doesn't go see the captain. So we'll actually jump over to the general goods store with her, and there's a woman behind the counter saying, "Well, hello there, young lady. How can I help you?"
Hi, how are you?
Oh yes, I'm doing quite well today. Is there anything we can interest you in?
See, I don't normally say this, but I'm pretty hungry, and I don't have any parents.
Do you have any money?
No.
There's an orphanage I can help walk you to.
Well, that's the thing. I've been into many orphanages, and they don't really like me all that much.
Make a deception check. The second part probably sounds kind of accurate to what would happen, but
deception is what?
Charisma based.
So what? Wisdom.
Charisma.
Would it be deception or would it be performance?
I feel like this would be deception.
All right.
I got 14.
He already rolled it. So, okay, 14. She believes that you're kind of out there on your own, but she feels like you're trying to, con her, though.
I start coughing. Listen, I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for some food.
She opens up a bag and hands you a piece of jerky and says,
"Wait, does she look away as she opens the bag?"
For like a second, she turns around to grab a bag.
When she turns around, I grab the first thing I see off the shelf.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check.
Oh my god.
Yes. Wait, what's sleight of hand?
Plus dexterity.
I got a 21.
That is gone.
That's in
Okay.
my pocket. What did I get?
I'll roll percentile dice to see what you got.
Yes. Finally.
He grabbed a pair of
You
saws.
take it and run, or are you gonna stick around and wait for her to notice?
Let's see now. You got you get like a random sheet of parchment paper.
Cool.
But hey, you're plus one piece of parchment paper.
Cool. I'll put that. You said parchment paper?
Yeah. And she now turns around and offers you a piece of jerky and says, "Okay, now perhaps you and I, we could work out a deal. Maybe you could do some work around here, and in exchange I can give you some money."
No, that's okay. I really just came here for the food. Bye. And I just left.
Do you take the jerky before you
Yes,
leave? Okay.
yes, I take the jerky. I've got jerky too.
You just hear a sigh. Not another one.
All right.
And that whole thing didn't take very long, so you probably noticed the carriage kind of moving off towards the center of town.
Are
run
child
after them?
vagrants a common thing in this town?
No, I immediately go into the next store. I see.
Okay. Let's keep heading down to the store, to the center of town, and looking for this guy.
Okay, so after a little while, you make it sort of to a town square area, and you notice a couple buildings. There's sort of some guards milling around. You can't really quite discern which one is quite the guard outpost, though.
Which one has the most guards in front of it?
That's sort of okay, so that would sort of be one that's sort of in the dead center. It seems to be hewn out of rock, and it's actually kind of one of the taller buildings.
Is there any words on the building or signs?
Yes, actually, in Dwarvish, there is written on it that says, "For honor, for treasure, and for goodness."
Good as any. I approach the building and
The guards, well, when you walk in, the guards say hello to you.
I greet them and I say I have a delivery here for Joseph Carver.
Oh, yes, Captain Carver. Well, that's actually not going to be in this building. This is sort of the, town office building. That's actually going to be that one over there, and it kind of points to a more humble-looking building.
Okay, I thank
You're
them.
looking for a weenie hut general.
Headed over that way.
Yeah, and so you go inside, and there's actually some guards in here, and a guard says, "Okay, halt. How can we help you?"
I produce the invoice and say I have a delivery for Joseph Carver.
Oh, yes, indeed. I will go fetch the captain for you. And so he leaves, and there's a sort of another guard. He's watching you, but not like too suspiciously. He's just kind of there in a somewhat friendly but also serious fashion, while the other one leaves to go get the captain.
I tell him of this story about the guardsmen from my home city of Cape Salas. They're the best. They're the best in the entire country. Many times I've had to help them with some measure of dastardly villain plaguing our city. They rely on me constantly and know me to be a stalwart pillar.
Earth Mover, make a perception check.
What's that?
Earth Mover, make a perception check.
Oh boy. Oh, that's actually not too bad.
What'd you get?
Perception. 19.
Okay, you actually see the guard, like, he's eyeing him somewhat annoyed, but the rest of his facial expression is remaining very stoic. Like, you get the feeling that he doesn't want to have to put up with this, but part of his job is just listening to people ramble when they walk in.
Anyway, I tie up my story and tell them that you guys remind me just like them, and I'm sure that you're just as brave and true.
The captain walks in and says, "Well, I didn't hear the first part of that story, but I like hearing my gods being called brave and true. How can I help you, sir?"
I hand him the invoice and tell him I have a delivery for you. I assume you're Captain Carver?
Oh, yes, indeed. Letter from Dean Fisher. On the way, you wouldn't happen to have met Johann, would you? Man named Johann Carver? And he smiles at that.
I'm afraid I have some bad news. We found 2 horses that were supposedly belonged to him that were killed and maimed on the side of the road. We fought at least a dozen goblins.
He grabs your shoulders and says, which is actually kind of a difficult thing for him because he's a dwarf, but he's just like, "Johann, do you know what happened to him?"
Yes, I believe that he might have been abducted by goblins. We fought at
So he's not dead.
What's that?
So you don't think he's dead? You think you were just abducted?
I don't know. We were too busy fighting for our lives.
Okay, just shut up and listen to me. Johann is my husband. I need you to go back and look for him.
I'm sorry. I'm flabbergasted that you request something like this. We're not.
We are not your errand
The
boys.
first time in a long time.
We are not your errand boys.
He says, "Okay, of course, just look, I'll send a guard with you, but you guys know where this happened. You guys seem competent, please. I'll send a guard with you if you want. I'll pay you, of course, but please, I need your help."
I am sorry. We are humble caravan delivery folk. We're not.
There's money in it.
There's money in it, of course. I'll send a guard to help you.
Okay. You might. I strongly recommend sending at least 2 or 3 brave soldiers. There were so many goblins there that we barely escaped with our lives.
He turns to the 2 guards that were there when you entered the I'm just going to call them Annoyed Guard and Delivery Guard until you get their name. He says, "Okay, you 2, I need you to go with these 2 fine gentlemen to go back to where this happened and try to find him. That's in order."
We'll need some form of transportation. It was at least 3 days out between here. 3 days out.
Okay. okay, the carriage, he looks out the window of the carriage. Okay. That carriage, it is a military requisition carriage that was on loan to the college. They were returning it full of supplies for us. You can use it. Just, we'll get it offloaded quickly. And do you have a manifest, of course?
Yeah, I handed the manifest, but then I explained that, if we're all going to make their good time, we'd need more horses.
Okay, I'm also going to need the deed of insurance.
This is one cargo horse. He's not built for speed.
He says, okay, of course. Just, go out back to the, okay, he writes something down. Give this to the stableman.
All right, thank you.
He says, okay, so you two are going with them. You two, I need you to go show them where this happened and help out the guards and make sure that Johan comes home alive. I don't believe that he's dead, but make sure it stays that way.
This guy's a dwarf, right?
Yes, he's a dwarf.
Okay. I tell now, sir, I don't mean to add more stress than you need, but I was told we would be paid upon delivery.
Okay. Yes, of course. And he and he turns to someone standing behind a.
Is his armor ornate or is it plain?
He's wearing sort of like a sort of like the uniform guard's armor, which is mostly sort of straightforward. It's got like the it's got the insignias of his rank of captain on it. It's showy enough to stand out to show that he is a guard, but it's not like flashy.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a police uniform.
Understood. Okay.
And he says, okay, so okay, so he looks around and says, okay, and he produces a bag for the two of you. Was it just the two of you on this errand?
Yes.
Okay. And he hands each of you a bag with 10 gold in it. Okay, and so you guys are going to be heading off then?
I take his letter and then head back. I leave. I say I trust I can leave the cargo with you, and
yes, we'll get it unloaded promptly.
All right, I head over to the stables in the back with the invoice.
And yeah, there's a stable keeper there, and she looks up at you and says, "Can I help you? This area is kind of for gods only."
I hand her the letter.
She says, "Oh, well, okay then. Looks like you two are gonna need these fine stallions." And she goes into the stables bed and comes out with two, fine-looking stallions. And I think that's where we're gonna have to wrap up for tonight, with you guys meeting your fine stallions.
Is anybody else ready to? I mean, I could go longer. You guys?
Yeah, I can go longer.
I just feel like this is a good sort of ominous set-off point.
I mean, I'm trying to steal some more shit.
Okay, fine. You try to steal something from the stable.
Yeah. No. I'm in the other store. The store that's right next to it.
Remember, you yelled, "We're not your errand boys," to the captain.
No, I wasn't actually there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to hear what else she steals.
Yes. Like I walk into the
steal as much as possible.
Okay, we can go. Okay, so this store, it seems to be a mining equipment store.
Ooh, okay. I walk in.
And this time there's actually like more people in the store.
Sweet.
And when you walk in there, sort of an older dwarven man says, "Can I help you, young lady?"
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, ma'am.
Good. You've got a really nice store here. I start walking around.
Thank you. Can we help you with something?
No, I'm just looking around.
Are you intending to buy something?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for your finest pickaxes.
Finest pickaxes. And he looks you up and down and says, "Are you sure you can handle a pickaxe?"
Absolutely. I've been training in the mine for years.
Which mine?
No, the South Side mine.
We're in the South Side.
Yeah, I know.
There's multiple mines. Okay, fine. What do you have expertise mining in?
Well, I've got expertise mining in the mines, of course.
Yeah, but like coal, iron?
Yeah, coal.
Okay, so you're like a coal miner?
Yes, sir.
Okay, which company do you work for?
Well, it's actually my father's company. He made it himself.
Okay, what's your father's name?
It's a startup company. You probably don't know it very well.
As you probably know, all the mines have to be registered, and I do have a copy of that register.
No, of course. Listen, I'm just looking to buy something. Can I not just buy something?
Well, you can, but I'm just wondering what interest you have in a pickaxe.
I'm just looking to buy something, sir.
He says, okay, you want our finest pickaxe?
Yes, sir.
And he actually says, okay, you two keep an eye on her. And he sort of disappears into the back room and comes out with like a really nice looking pickaxe, but you wouldn't know what a nice pickaxe looks like, would you?
No, probably not.
Yeah, and he says,
who are these guys?
Just like two dwarves, but they work there.
They work there?
Yeah, they seem to be there.
Are they like staring at me or what?
One of them's kind of eyeing you, the other one's just kind of looking around.
All right, I start walking around the store.
Yeah, like they're not going to stop you, but they definitely seem suspicious of your intentions.
Okay, so I start walking around. Do they ever take their gaze off me?
The first one doesn't. The other one, he's just looking at you every now and again.
Okay. I walk up to the first one who's staring at me because I'm guessing it's taking a while for him to get the pickaxe from the back.
Yes.
And I go, "Wow, you look just like my brother." Your brother is a dwarf? Yeah, we're stepbrother, sister.
Okay.
But he died recently in a mining accident.
Well,
and I start fake crying.
Well, that does happen sometimes. And he starts like doing that thing where you like don't want to make eye contact with a crying person, so he just starts looking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still kind of in your direction.
I go up and hug him.
Okay.
I'm like,
this is
literally bawling my eyes out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I hug him. I pickpocket him.
Okay, this will be a sleight of hand stroke.
Come on.
Come on, baby. Mama need the new pair of shoes. You said sleight of hand?
Yep.
Which is
Dex.
Sleight of hand is Dex. I got a 10.
Well, you're proficient in it.
So it's double?
Well, you add your proficiency bonus plus 2.
So it's plus 5, which would be 12.
Yeah, he feels you reaching into his back pocket.
Okay, what does he do?
He grabs your arm and just says, I think you better leave now.
What are you talking about?
You were trying to pickpocket me.
No, I wasn't. I was just hugging you.
The other guy's looking at you now and says, Madam, miss, please leave.
I start bawling my eyes out like way harder.
The manager comes out with that fine-looking pickaxe and says, "What's going on here?"
Finally,
pickpocket me.
I walk up to him and I say, "Your guard just assaulted me. You literally just pushed me on the ground."
They make eye contact with each other and just like both start shaking their heads.
I don't understand how you could employ such horrible, horrible people. By the way, that's a beautiful pickaxe.
I know. So think you better leave now.
I immediately put my elbows on the counter. So how much for that pickaxe?
I'm not selling this to you. Please get out of here.
Why?
Look, you've been accosting my employees, and I have a feeling that you've probably already stolen something.
Fine. I walk out. What's the nicest thing on the shelf that I can see?
Yeah, there's probably like some like other pickaxes hanging up.
Well, is there anything smaller?
There's probably like a spade or something.
All right, I walk out, grab a spade, and run out the front door as fast as I possibly can.
One of the employee who was not really paying attention before now starts chasing after you and says, "Gods, help! This woman, she's just robbed our store!"
I start literally sprinting.
At this point, okay, so now with this chase going on, a guard notices and says, "Halt! You're committing crimes against Galay and her people. What say you in your defense?"
So at this, I say, "No, sir, you've got it all wrong. I'm actually with the guards here that came. What is? I know I wouldn't know this, but the guard that we were
the captain of the guard.
Captain of the guard.
Well, they mentioned it a couple times.
What's his name?
Tell you, would you have been paying attention necessarily? Yeah. Tell you what, I don't necessarily think what's your roll history just to see if you can recall that, because you probably weren't paying too much good attention.
I guess they said it a bunch of times.
Okay. 11, yeah, that'll be, yeah. You know that his that he was Captain Joseph, but you don't remember the last name.
Okay, I'm here for Captain Joseph. We're here delivering a message. I have the letter, but it's with my teammates over back.
And he says, okay, so then why were you stealing from a store?
I was not stealing. They had it all wrong.
Then, that spade still has the tag on it?
This spade?
Yes.
This is my spade.
He says, okay. This clearly isn't going anywhere. Don't make me have to arrest you. And a woman who was kind of watching the whole thing shouts, oh yeah, I totally saw her just run out with that thing and with the employee and tout.
So I start walking towards the castle that they went to.
The guard says, halt! Halt!
No, seriously, let me go find my teammates. They'll explain everything.
He grabs you by the arm and says, okay, fine. You say they're with Captain Joseph?
Yes.
Well, good, because we're going to the guard's outpost anyway.
Well, let's go there.
He kind of like half drags you along.
No, I start walking. Very high and mighty.
Yeah, and so we'll say that this time this is like just after you guys left. And so you just walk in and you see like a couple guards, one of them more well decorated from the other, looking very upset.
Yes.
He says, Captain, apparently this woman was on a delivery request.
Stop! I interrupt him. This man doesn't know anything that he's talking about. 2 men just came in here delivering a letter. Do you know where they are? I was with them.
And he just sort of distractedly says, yeah, they're out by the stables. What business do you have with them?
Yes, I am their business partner.
Do you have any proof of this?
Absolutely.
At this point, the guard says, she attempted to steal a spade. We have witnesses that corroborate this.
None of that is true. Just let me talk to my partners.
He looks down at the letter he got and says, okay, what were the names of your partners?
I mean, I would know them.
Yeah, you would know that their names are
Earth Mover.
Know this.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Potter.
yeah, I roleplay. I know their names.
Okay. He says,
what?
He says the captain. What? Yeah.
I was saying that you, Evan, should know our names to roleplay that you know our names.
Yes, one's Earth Mover, and what's your name, Paul?
No.
No. Out of character should remember.
Yeah, that's my.
I mean, Earth Mover is probably a unique enough name that gets his attention.
Yeah, I know Earth Mover. We're business partners.
The guards. Okay, so the captain says, okay, you can confirm that she stole the spade?
No.
Okay, you're going to have to pay a fine for this, but if you can confirm that you were here with those other 2, we probably won't have to arrest you.
Well, let me go talk to them.
And he says, okay, take her out to the stables.
Cool.
And so he leads you out, and so you now see her being escorted by a guard who has like a hand wrapped around her wrist. And are you still holding the spade?
Oh, that's in my pocket.
Okay.
What did you do now?
Finally, Earth Mover. I go up to him and hug him. And when I hug him, I take the spade out of my pocket and put it into your pocket.
I feel like.
Do you try to be stealthy about that, or do you just blatantly pull it out and shove it in mine?
Let me do a sleight of hand.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, what's your passive perception?
I got a 10. Because it's.
What's my passive perception?
Yeah.
12.
Okay. Yeah, you notice.
Okay, but does anyone else notice? That's the only thing I care.
Well, I want to know if you're going to do anything about this.
I wink at you.
Oh God. I give just the most disgusted and like why look possible.
And I literally just give the biggest grin.
Okay, this woman was stealing from a store. She's going to need to return the stolen property, and after she pays the fine, of course.
I already gave that spade back to the storekeeper.
Turn out your pockets.
Absolutely.
You probably have like some random trinkets, but not a spade.
I have the parchment paper, like the whole packet.
That sounds suspicious, though.
And I pull out the jerky and the bread and the mouse and the arrows. And all this stuff starts falling out.
Guys, hang on a second. Do you know how big a spade is? Because that'd be kind of obvious if it was in her pocket.
Well, I'm thinking it's like a trowel, like a
I'm thinking.
Okay, well, here's the thing. It was probably sticking out of her pocket, but it's probably fitting in Earth Movers.
Yes.
Guys, a spade is a full-size shovel. Like the shovel in Dad's garage is a spade.
Oh. In that case, it was like a hand shovel.
Okay,
like,
thank
I think
you.
everyone else was thinking
Really
like a
nice
garden
Yeah.
spade,
Okay,
like a
that probably
trowel.
makes more sense then.
This gigantic thing sticking out of her pocket. Like,
So anyways,
I'm fine.
I pull out my pocket. He doesn't say
I don't have it. What are you talking about? Roll persuasion.
What?
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
I mean, you literally don't, but I feel like this should be a check. But yeah, I mean, I guess the guard looks very confused and says, okay, so then you'll be fine going back to that store to confirm that you gave it back?
Well, they're going to lie because they want me to pay a fine. And you know that's true.
Listen, he looks you square in the eyes, clamps his hand on your shoulders, and says, I am a god of Galay, and I compel ye, speak the truth.
Cool.
And
I am the truth.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I say. I say I am the truth.
He's going to try to intimidate you.
Okay.
And so I feel like you would be, and you're trying to deceive him, right?
Okay, sure.
So I feel like this would almost be like to see if you can hold up your bluff while under pressure. So I feel like you would make a deception.
No, if I'm under pressure, I'll just start crying.
Let's see how much he intimidates you by.
Okay.
He got a 20 on his intimidation.
I burst into tears. And then I go back to Earthmover and say, he's yelling at me.
He is actually speaking more quietly in that sentence than literally any other sentence he's spoken yet.
Well, it was still mean. Can we get out of here?
Yeah, he wasn't shouting, but he was being very firm.
At this, I noticed that you guys were getting a new horse, and I'm like, oh, what's this new horse for?
Hey, away from the guard's horses.
Well, that's not the guard's horses. They're being given, it looks like, they're being given to my partners.
And the woman behind the counter says, yes, these are military requisition.
Right, I'm with them.
You're with the military?
No, I'm with my partners.
And she turns to Javin because he looks more official. Okay, she clearly knows the big guy. No offense, I just don't know your name. Can you speak for her?
Asking me?
Yeah.
Are you? I'm thinking.
I have a big grin on my face. Huge grin, like from ear to ear.
Yeah. By the way, at this point, the
I told you about the time in which I had to find a stowaway on a ship. It took me 3 days to find this little street urchin.
This is a good story. Y'all should listen to this.
A great deal about them throughout their past and their history. And in fact, that person helped me solve a great mystery and save my town. And you need to understand that the benefits of strangers and strange small little girls who come up needs to be respected. Because
the manager from the store from earlier walks up, interrupting your story, says, okay, so you guys finally sold this thing out?
Absolutely, we did.
Okay, so can I have my spade back?
Again, I did not take your spade.
Okay, that's a deception roll.
Come on, baby. Nat 20.
11. Yeah, they don't buy it.
No, it's plus
plus charisma, which I think for you is a +2.
Yeah, so I got a 13.
Yeah, there's
charisma.
Maybe they could roll.
Yeah, they would have to roll, wouldn't they? I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, it's just that there was a direct witness that confirmed to this guard what was going on, and you've got the manager there.
Hasn't the guard already seen the spade in her hand and then
yes. And so basically at this point the question is, where is the spade?
I gave the spade back to you.
No, you didn't. You were chased. Remember, you were chased out of the store. Then you were walked here. When would you have given the spade back to me?
You can go check. Maybe you dropped it.
Maybe I dropped it.
Yes.
Is that really the story you're going with?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have it.
Then where is it?
That's a darn good question. You're a pretty bad shopkeeper. And by the way, who's watching out for your shop right now?
It's currently closed, but the other employee, he's there.
Well, it seems like we're just wasting time. And it seems like that if they're being given military horses, there is a pushing issue. Is there not? And I lean towards the woman behind the counter.
Look, I just got a letter saying that I should give these to our fastest carriage horses.
Fastest? Then let's go.
And the guard finally clamps down your shoulder and says, look, all I know is that a spade was missing. You're going to need to pay the requisite fine, which is 1 gold to the city and half that to the shopkeeper.
I am a poor, homeless girl. Are you really going to fine me?
There are other ways we can work out your payment.
Fine. I dig in and grab 1 gold coin, and I throw it at him.
Yeah, I actually want to see if he catches this. It hits him square in the eye.
Sweet.
Oh,
I start laughing hysterically.
If I weren't so annoyed, I really should be arresting you for assaulting a
Roll
guard.
for damage.
Yes, roll for damage.
Okay, roll me a d4. It's an improvised weapon.
A coin is as lethal as
I
a
got a 2.
dagger. That's pretty good.
a coin
Well,
does
it hit him
more
square in
damage
the
than
eye,
a
so-
punch.
I got a 2.
Yeah, he's just like covering up his eye at this point and says, "Hey, you were a sailor. You wouldn't have to have any eye patches, would you?"
You freaking baby.
I'm also gonna need the and then the manager also says, "And I'm also owed 5 silver from this."
Why?
Because that's how the law works. You're caught stealing, you pay a certain amount to the city, and then half that amount to the owner of the property.
That sounds like some BM laws, and I paid your gold. Could we get out of here, please? And I look towards Paul.
Fine. I will pay. Fine. If it will get this whole mess sorted out, I will pay the 5 silver.
Yes. Yeah, you're just like rocking up like a criminal reputation in every town you go to. Yes. And the guard finally says, "Okay, get out of here. I don't want to see this one again." Now be
I
gone
I wish
with you.
we could do the same.
Just remember, you're known to me now.
Oh, and you're known to me, and I wink at him.
I really hope that whatever mission they're on wasn't too important, because there's no way they're completing it. And one of the guards that's on the mission with you says, "Oh yeah, we're going to find Captain Carver's husband," and he just looks at face palms and says, "Well, they're all dead."
Sweet, I got a spade.
No, I have a spade.
That's mine. I'm taking that.
Trowel.
Whatever.
You have a small shovel that you cannot pull out in front of the guards.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Just pull it out. Is this what you were looking for?
Oh, is this a trowel?
At this point, that would probably get you arrested.
I'll do it after.
Wait, why would she be arrested? Everybody's been paid.
The fine's been paid off.
And so is the gold piece.
Yeah.
I mean, the trowel wasn't worth 1 gold. It's worth more than that, right?
Probably.
Well, yeah, so you didn't. Yeah, you just paid a fine. You didn't pay for the item.
So the trowel's worth more than a gold piece.
Well,
I'm
is
trying
it
to
worth
sell
more than a
that bad
gold?
boy.
Is it worth more than a gold 5?
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell that puppy.
Well, how much was it worth to you?
How is this trowel more than a gold piece?
It's freaking diamond.
Okay.
Well, here's a full-size shovel is 2 gold. So this thing actually probably came out to be like 1 gold, actually. Maybe like 8 silver.
Damn, I'm losing money.
And we paid a gold 5 for it.
Yep.
Dang.
Well, technically, only 5 silver went to the
I'm gonna try to sell
shopkeeper.
it for 2. Somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing now?
Does this feel like a good wrap-up point?
Probably.
And okay, so this seems like it's going to be the start of a good new adventure leg. Let's see if these guys are able to go next time. Will Allison be able to continue her theft rampage across the country? Find out next time. I've been your host and DM, Drew, and joining me, we have our requisite ranger,
Evan.
our awesome alchemist,
Andreas.
and our cool cleric, Paul.